In this episode, we're going to take a look at a couple questions posed by viewers on a recent video of mine about Atlas Earth. We're going to look at the details around the questions, come up with some good answers. If this sounds interesting to you, please stand by. Hey, all you Atlas Earthlings, welcome back. Bronze Dragon here saying, hey, thanks for dropping by. I appreciate your time. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. It helps me out. With that said, if you have just stumbled across this video, the topic is Atlas Earth, which is a mobile app that you can make money on just by playing games and basically doing things you would probably do on your mobile anyway. We're not going to dig in deep to that. Although, if you are interested in a new game to try out, please try my referral code or use my referral code in the show notes. You can get into the game free to play, and when you hit your 11th parcel in game, you get 200 free Atlas bucks. I get 100 out of it too, so it's a win-win proposition. We're not going to dig in deep of the details of the game in this video. You can find those details in prior videos you can find on my channel, and I do talk about Atlas Earth several times a week. In this episode, we're going to look at my most recent video about Atlas Earth. It got a lot of feedback and a lot of comments. I love it. I love it when people put comments in on my videos. It shows interaction. It helps me out on YouTube. Plus, it gives me ideas, frankly. People have questions. So that's what we're going to jump into now. The first question I'm going to highlight is from Lee. And Lee says, I got a question I'd like to hear about in a video. If a person is in an area where other players play, what would the buy and sell values for both the buyer and seller be for like a plain legendary or epic plots in just ordinary places? I know commons are useless and probably rare as well unless they're in a famous place. Okay, so this is an interesting question. And it brings about the idea of what parcels are worth to buy and sell. And that's a basic question. Let's go ahead and think about what the parcels are actually worth. Okay, so we're going to take a look at parcels for a minute. And a lot of this is theory crafting. In other words, it's basically educated guesses. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the basics. And if you go into your main account settings where you can see your parcel count and press the little question mark right here, you will see the breakdown of rarity of the parcels and what you're supposed to get when you get one. And this is just kind of surrounding information to the question. You can see that commons have a 50% drop rate, rares get a 30%, epics get a 15%, and legendaries get a 5%. But what we're really looking at here is what you earn off of each of those parcels. And this is going to dovetail into another question we have from another viewer, basically about earning. So why I start out here is because it's all about earning. At the basic level, it's all about earning. If you get a common, you get the base level is all those zeros, 11. And then a rare is 16, which is a little, almost 1.5, right? Epics, 2, which is twice what a common is. And legendary is 4, which is 4 times a common. So Epic's going to bring in, he or she specifically asked about epics and legendaries. So we start with the basics of epics bring in twice what a common does, and legendaries bring in 4 times what a common does. So we can kind of extrapolate basic math. So I could probably safely say that an epic is worth at least twice what a common is, and a legendary is worth at least 4 times what a common is, just due to the rent it brings in. And anything over that is just profit, right? So the basic answer that I would have, and you start with the fact that if you sell a parcel, the minimum price you can put on it is 150 Atlas bucks. Now, logic would say that you can just buy any parcel, and at the base level, you shouldn't be paying 150 for a common, right? Because you could just pay 100 for a common and get a common anywhere you wanted it, right? So extrapolating out from that, then if you said, well, the minimum amount that you could sell a parcel for is 150, then I would say 150 would be the safe price for a rare, okay? Because a rare is just right around 1.5 times what a common is, okay? Now the epic is twice. So the logical starting price for an epic would be, in my mind, 200 Atlas bucks. And the basic starting price for a legendary would be 40 or 400 Atlas bucks, right? And that's just due to the rent it brings in, okay? So you're looking at 200 and 400, epic and legendary. Now, that is just base level. These are out in the country. There's nothing special about them. They're not in a special place like on a corner in a popular city or some particular landmark. All of that would drive the potential price that you could that you could sell it for from the seller's perspective. And from a buyer's perspective, the potential you might have to pay if you actually wanted that parcel, okay? Now, there's another angle to look at this as well, okay? Because there's another approach that some people use to play the game, and it's built in. It's part of the game. And that's what I would refer to as ninjaing parcels. So people will drive around. They see you're filling out right around your house or right around your work, and you're trying to make a specific pattern, or you're trying to make a perfect square or something or other, and then they just buy a parcel right in that, okay? Now, why they are doing that is because they are doing that with intent to sell that back to you at a profit, okay? They buy that parcel in your pattern or in your area right against your pattern that you're creating. And they know that more than likely they will probably be able to sell that to you at a large markup. Now, what we talked about before was just the basics of what the parcels are worth due to what they're bringing in, right, in rent. Now, when you're talking about this situation, or whether you're talking about somebody who bought a parcel on a popular landmark downtown, or a really big city like downtown New York or something like that, those go outside of that argument, and the sky's the limit as far as what they could sell that for. Now, is anybody going to buy it? Who knows, right? But the sky's the limit for that. But I think that we safely answered the question that he posed or she posed in the comment section by asking what would be the price for buying and selling. And I think the safe price for a rare would be 150, epic 200, and legendary 400. Now, if you want to pad that and somebody in particular might want to go ahead and pay for it, it's like when you buy and sell anything, the item you're selling is worth what a person will pay for it. Okay. Now the second question is from Debbie Thomas. And she reaches out and says, topic suggestion: how does the rent boosts and badges affect rent earned? Don't quite understand that. I have 40 badges right now. Thanks. Okay. So we talked about this in a recent video. Let me go ahead and bring my phone back over here. And we will look at the badges. And you will see that 40 badges would bring Debbie into level 3, which means that there would be a 15% boost applied to the basic rent. So we're talking about two things. We're talking about the boost that is incurred when, say, you just push your boost button, okay? And it just depends upon how many parcels you have. Now, Debbie doesn't list where she's at or how many parcels she has, but as I showed in my last video, there are 3 charts depending upon whether you're in the United States, you're in an international area, or in Mexico. So you have to refer to the proper chart, right? But I'm going to just go with the US chart. And if, say, for instance, she had 150 parcels, she would be getting a 30 times boost. Now, the 30 times boost refers to what you would be getting. It's 30 times what your base level rent is depending upon how many parcels and their rarities and everything. This game is all about boosts, okay? Because it's really about earning money, right? And it's about, there's a flip side for it, okay? So when you boost, you're making more money, right? So in this case, I'm sitting at 150 parcels, and I'm getting a 30 times boost every time I boost, right? I am also in the 15% boost range with my badges, just like Debbie is, okay? So that means that I have that extra boost as well. So you have a base level which you earn, and if you don't boost, you're not making much money at all. So that's why the common refrain is always boost, because you're making more money. Now, in the event of a super rent boost, they have twice a month, then everything goes up to 50 times. So that's why we always said, as you work your way down the scale and get more parcels, your boost goes down. However, when the super rent boost is on, everybody's at 50 times. So that's like the max boost you can get, right? And obviously, the more badges you have, the boost rate goes up as well. Like I said, 31 badges at least will get you into the 15% boost rate. But notice that it's two slightly different calculations. So the standard boost you get, depending upon how many parcels you have, is multiplied. Okay, so it's going to take, like, if you have 150 parcels, it's 30 times the basic rent you would be getting if you didn't boost. Now, the badges is a percentage. Once you have your multiplied out, then you have to, on top of that, take the extra percentage. So let's just do basic math here. Let me get my calculator over here. Okay, so just for argument, say we were earning 100 rent, okay? And we had 150 parcels, so we'd multiply that by 30, okay? And that equals 3,000. And then we would take that 3,000 and times it by 15%. So we would multiply it by 0.15, which would equal 450. So we would end up with 3,450 instead of the base level 100. So you can see that both boosts are good. They get you more, right? But they're applied in different manners. So there is a big difference between the multiplication and the percentage. Now, that was just using round numbers, just 100. It's easy math, right? But you can consult these charts, and they're on the Atlas Earth website, and they're under the help section, okay? And they go through and they will tell you the math right here and give you some examples. Now your numbers will be slightly different because everybody has slightly different rarities amongst their parcels, right? But this takes an average, and this shows you the math, what rent you would most likely be getting at 150 parcels and 30 times boost. Now, and this also goes out towards the here on the right side with the super rent included. And you can see the super rent boosts it up pretty good, right? But what this math does not include is that extra percentage for your badges, which would be over and above this, okay? And it says here that these numbers are figured at max parcels. So this line would be figured at 150. This line would be figured at 220, etc. But it also says these figures only apply, they're factoring on 20 boosts per day. There's a lot of us that boost a lot more than 20 times a day. So these are just giving you some basic figures, and the numbers that you're seeing will likely be more. So with that said, I hope those were some decent answers. Appreciate all the comments. Please keep the questions and comments coming. Do appreciate it. With that said, also, if you're looking for a game, new game to make a little bit of money on the side, check out my referral code. As I said, it's one of those things that starts out slow, but it builds up over time. So either way, thanks for joining me. This has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, and I will see you in Atlas Earth.